Golly jeebers and gosh, my... Moisturising the throat with some top quality filtered water. Very nice. So, I want to talk about movies that I have that I don't like in another light. Wow, look at me, so dramatic. Whoa, spooky. It's been a long day. I had a recent comment on my Blu-ray collection from yonkers ago, where obviously, I guess in that video, I had pinpointed some of the films I had on Blu-ray that I didn't like. And I've obviously done a few videos beforehand showing that I own movies I don't like. I have them on my shelf. I can't do much about it. I kind of can. I've buried Minions. You can't find that. No one's gonna know. They're not gonna know. I could put Minions in his goddamn pillowcase and wouldn't goddamn know. It ain't mine, it's my brother's. But that's the key thing. Yeah, I have movies on my shelf that I don't like. I have movies on my shelf that I've watched a couple times back and forth, whether I've liked them or I haven't liked them, whether I own them or not. And it can be a thing. I can buy a movie and be like, oh, okay, I don't actually like this one that much, you know, or it could be like, oh, this is disgusting, it's a whole, You know, there's different avenues. There's the main one I got a reference, obviously, is the fact that I don't own all the Blu-rays on my shelf. Some are owned by family members, because I live in a household of 5 people. My brother and my dad have a few, very, very, very minor few. Dad more than anyone else. And there are some films that they have that they like to buy that I think are absolute dog shit. It's fine. They're not my taste. Maybe they're just kind of blah. You know, maybe they're actually just really bad films like Bohemian Rhapsody, that one in particular. But at the same time, I can't really do much about it, you know. I have to keep in the mindset of the respect of, they're going to watch these goddamn movies. Some of them I can hide, some of them I can bury. No one will know until they're like, hey, where's this? But it doesn't matter. It's fine. I live with it. It's fine. It just means I got to deal with more space on my shelf that's been squished in by shit that I don't like. But then, of course, there's films that I don't like, that I own. What about that, you know? You look at something like Mars Attacks, or even more recently, some of the torture porn films like Last House on the Left and whatnot. Like, films I don't think of in the highest regard. Films that I bought for the factor of, I respect this director, or I think this could be fun. Other way around, realistically, I thought Mars Attacks would be fun, and I respect Wes Craven. Tim Burton's alright prior to the 2000s. And so it's one of those things where, yeah, no, I just don't like some of the movies. Sometimes I've had the reevaluation of, I've watched a movie, I've not liked it, I've rewatched it either a short period of time or a long period of time later, and I just actually thought it was pretty good. Maybe I was on a wrong terminology. Like with most Rob Zombie movies I watch, I either think they're absolute dog shit, or I think they're really good. And that could be the exact same film. Like, I mean, think of most of his films. I like them, and I hate them at the same time, but not really hate. Some of them are just kind of meh, but some of them are really good. But some of them, like, I don't know. Like, the ones that are considered the most popular, the most renowned, best of his filmography, in this case, like Devil's Rejects, I don't care for. I think it's just kind of meh. I didn't care for it at all. I much preferred House of a Thousand Corpses. But I did like his take on Halloween, at least the first half of it, before it became a remake. And I think Halloween 2 is okay. But that's just the thing, isn't it? It's like, it doesn't bloody well matter. It's my opinion on that. That's fine. You know, I've got a mate who thinks Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie film, is the best Halloween film ever made. Sure, why not, you know? I don't really care to dispute. I'm like, alright, go for it. That's for you to deal with in those online forums. Look, he's the guy who posts on Twitter. I don't say shit, you know? So, yeah, that's a thing. But there are plenty of films that I have seen that I've been violently disgusted by and been like, oh, this is crap, why the hell did I buy this, or whatever. The worst occasion comes when I will buy a movie on Blu-ray, not watch it. Many months or years later, I get the upgraded version, thinking, oh, it's alright, there's an upgrade. I'll buy that instead, because at least, even though I haven't seen the original Blu-ray I bought, I can buy the new one, 4K restoration, special features up the wazoo, amazing slew of stuff, then it's like, yeah, sure, that could work. This could be good. Turns out the film's still a piece of shit. I just didn't know because I didn't bother to watch it the first time around, you know? Those are the ones that really trouble me. Like, I can buy a film hoping that I'd like it, thinking it might be good. Again, something like Mars Attacks, something like Last House on the Left. And then having a completely opposite reaction of, like, something with Mars Attacks, it's like, oh, I get what they're going for, but it just doesn't work under this director. It doesn't work with this style. It's kind of meh. Like, I might have reappreciated it, but then I even actually watched Red Letter Media's video, and I'm like, oh, maybe people actually don't like this movie. What the hell? I thought people liked this movie. I thought it was like one of those cult classics where it was like, oh, people thought it was shit to begin with, but then they reevaluated it, and it's like, no, it's just not great. There might still be some people who absolutely adore it. I'm just not one of them, and I love the 50s, you know, sci-fi alien invasion movies that it's homaging, but it's just... Burton's not the kind of guy I would go for that kind of thing. I'd go for someone like Joe Dante. And on like the same year, I think Dante did Matinee, which is like a far superior film. But then there's something like Last House on the Left where I didn't realize it was what it was. And then watching it, I'm like, oh, boy, that's rough. And yet I've still ironically bought the remake because I bought the 4K because it was a limited edition version. Ideally, I like that more. I don't know, I'm going to watch the uncut version. I'm going to regret it. But, you know, I was able to buy it for a good price, so I was okay with that. But it's also a different film. That's okay, you know. So, yeah, there's been... That's my biggest concern. If I upgrade a film and I realize, oh shit, I don't actually... What if I don't like the film? Like, I've already got it, I should watch the version I have. But in my mindset, it's always watch the best that's available. And if the best that's available is something that's out there in the stores, in the wilderness, go outside of a net, catch a goddamn kino release. Whatcha? Sure, you know, I can do that with $60. Why not? But maybe also I hold off. Maybe I actually just watch what I have. Right now I'm thinking something like Cujo. Not a movie I dislike at all, because I haven't seen it. I've had the Blu-ray for yonkers now, and it's like, yeah, maybe I should have, like, I've wanted to get the Kino 4K, even though I've heard that the Eureka release looks better, but the Kino release has all this, like, a lot more special features, including 3 different commentary tracks. And I'm like, I'll probably get that one. But then I'm like, yeah, but I've got that Vivision release from like 2 years ago and I haven't watched it yet, so I should watch that instead. A good example would be the Psycho films, where I'm not a huge fan of the first one, I still like it a lot, but I got the box set of all 4 from Arrow Video, but I got it for my birthday. I was able to find that loophole of like, I'll order it and get someone else to pay for it. My parents. So I was able to use that as like as a wiggle room, like, just in case I don't like the sequels, I didn't buy them, even though I already have them on Blu-ray. I had the Arrow Video version of the second film, and the Vivision releases of the third and fourth one, which I imagine would look really, really bad. Or at least, if they did look really bad, it wouldn't be as good as a 4K release from Arrow Video. So I definitely benefited in terms of picture and sound quality by getting the 4K set from Arrow. And honestly, I actually did like the films. It's kind of funny. I did like the films. Third one's the meh one, but the rest of them I really liked. So it's like, well, I benefited at least in that regard. And also I had to get rid of my Psycho Steelbook, which had the 4K and had the uncut version, but it didn't have the mono track. It had one of those audio glitches things that apparently had happened when it was first released. I still ordered that release, got it in, got the replacement disc didn't work, so I was able to just sell off the Steelbook and just stick with the version that I have with this new Arrow Video version, which comes with that mono audio. Sounds great, it's good, it's a mono stereo, who cares, original theatrical mix. But yeah. So yeah, there are different occasions where I will have a plenitude of films that I don't like, films that I haven't watched, will eventually watch. Maybe I don't like them because I'm not in the mood for it, I don't understand it, I need a better perspective on what it is, and then maybe I rewatch it and I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. It'll never happen for Bohemian Rhapsody, but it's always worth mentioning. But yeah, so it's a commonality, you know, it's not, I again, have had that comment, and even the same guy, I responded to him saying that, you know, some films I don't own because they're not mine. Some films I have disliked, but then I've reevaluated and actually liked them. Especially because that video was like 3 years ago, or 2 or 3 years ago, and it's like, the same guy responded saying, oh yeah, that makes sense, you know. Of course, his point initially being like, what the hell? Why would you have these films if you don't like it? That doesn't make any sense. It's crazy talk. What is this? Some kind of weird alternate reality where you accidentally buy a film that's a piece of shit and you don't know it's a piece of shit, then you watch it and you're like, it's a piece of shit. And then you're stuck with it. Some of those you can sell off, bury, throw out, doesn't matter, bargain bin it, just get it out of the house. But some of them I can't because I live with the people who actually like those movies, like The Lone Ranger and Minions. Oh, I can't say anyone actually likes Minions. I don't think my brother's even watched it since getting the Blu-ray. But he was a child when he bought it, it's fine. A child. Younger than 15, maybe? Yeah, sure, child. But still, something like Bohemian Rhapsody, Lone Ranger, stuff like that I gotta put up with, you know. Anyway, that's all. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. As always, let me know what films you don't like that you own, or that you've mistakenly bought thinking you might like it and then been like, see, I don't like going with the popular consensus. These people don't like this. A lot of people don't like a lot of stuff, but a lot of people like a lot of stuff that's also bad. So, because everyone has different tastes, and that's worth crying about. Goodbye. See you next time.